Today we're looking at the new graphics cube inside Mastercam 2024. Now here's what it used to look like in 2023, and obviously here's what it looks like now in 2024. So right off the bat, if you don't like this cube and you don't think you can get used to it being there, you are able to turn it off. However, you'll lose some of this new functionality that comes with the cube being shown on screen. So even if you don't like the cube being there, I think it's worthwhile to keep it with the extra functionality that comes with it. So if you want to learn how to turn it off, I'll show that at the end of the video, as well as one extra bonus tip, not really related to this cube, but you'll find super useful, and it's only available in 2024 and newer. So let's have a look at how this cube works and what we can do with this. A lot of the functionality in this new feature is somewhat self-explanatory. We've got a cube and we've got highlightable edges and faces on it. So when I mouse over top, you'll see something highlight. I can highlight a face, an edge, or a corner. And whatever we click on, our view will be shifted to a normal view of that thing that we've clicked on. So there's a face. Obviously, we're in the top face, so we're looking normal to the top. I'll go to this front edge over here. So we're kind of at the corner between the front and the top. And then if I click on this corner over here, this will be an isometric view. Now, probably the first thing you're wondering, if you're coming from a previous version of Mastercam, maybe you like to create planes and you like to create dynamic planes, which what you would probably do is come down and click on this gnomon. That would launch you into dynamic planes. You can still do that. You just got to make sure that you're clicking on the gnomon and not the cube. So over here, any part of this gnomon, any leg, go ahead, left click on it just like you did before. And this will launch you into your dynamic plane creation. I'm just going to click escape to get out of that. Some other options we have as well. Notice the arrow keys up and down, left and right. Those will do exactly what you think. It'll move the view up and down or left and right. However, if we hold down our Alt key and click on those same buttons, we're going to get a skew left to right or a skew up and down. Down in the corner, we've got our flip, automatic flipping button here. If we click on this, notice we'll spin 180. If I hold down my Shift key, I'll get 90-degree increments. If I hold down my Control key, you'll see it rotates about the normal of the plane I'm currently looking at. Now, some bonus functionality here. Now, look at this part here. If I wanted to just rotate the part to look at, say, where the right eye of this dragon is, if I'm only using my mouse, I kind of have to do a rotate and then kind of move things up and down and then realign. And it's a bit of obviously a bit of a chore. Now, if you have a 3D mouse, it's pretty easy to describe your 3D mouse like I have, and you can turn the part to get that view. But with this new feature, what we can do is I'm going to left click and hold on this edge and then rotate my mouse around that point. So now you can see I can actually spin my model with a mouse, unlike we could not do before. So that's one of those functionalities of this new cube that I think is it's worthwhile to leave it turned on, even if you're not a huge fan of it in your graphics area. Now, as far as turning this off, there is a right-click menu. Let's right-click on the cube. And there, right there is where we can turn our cube off and get back to the old look of 2023 and before. Again, we'll right-click on it, get into our settings here, and we can, again, show cube. But notice in here in my right-click menu, this guy right here, relative to WCS. We didn't have this option before, and this is new, and I myself prefer this behavior. So in previous versions, it behaved as if this was unchecked. So let's say my WCS is set to top, everything's fine, but if my WCS is, say, set to bottom, my cube over here is still relative to the world WCS. So maybe you didn't like seeing that. So now, if we could do this relative to WCS, you'll see that this cube reflects the WCS that's actually active. Other settings, we'll come into the main settings here. And here you can control the look of the cube. You know, how big is it, transparency, all that kind of fun stuff. Lots of buttons in here to play with to make it more suit your needs. I don't know if you'd really want something that big on screen, but hey, you can do it if you want. The last piece of functionality of this cube, let me just zoom in here real quick. So here, you know, maybe if you're really zoomed in and want to see your full model, previously we would go right click and fit, or you'd go up to your view screen, come over here and click on fit. But what you can do now is you can just double click on the cube itself and it will do a fit that way. So nice little shortcut there. And then as promised, the final little piece here, a 2024 tip that's not really about the cube, but it is graphics screen related. If I want to zoom in on this eye of the dragon right in here, I have to scroll. I think that's his eye. That's his eye. Right, yeah, right there. It's a lot of scrolling with the mouse wheel, right? And it takes a little bit of work. So the new feature for 24 is you can hold down your Shift key and your zoom is multiplied by, I'm not sure the exact factor, but it feels like about 10x faster. Same thing for zooming out. So there's not shift, and there is the shift. Okay, so hold down shift while you're zooming in with your middle mouse wheel. New for 2024. I think it's a huge time saver.